All right, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to, I guess we'll call it episode 2 of what I'm calling Abiotic Live until I can figure out a proper name for it. So thanks to everybody who tuned in yesterday. We talked a little bit about some abiotic stuff that's going on. It's been a real good time so far. So looking forward to kind of seeing what this evolves into. So today we've got some killer folks jumping on the stream, the podcast, if you will. So we'll be having Chris Kelly, who was supposed to be on yesterday, of the band Alustrium. He also played with Galactic Empire. My buddy Alex Kendrick, who does front of house for all of your favorite bands. And then my friend Eloy Montes from the band Flub. So I am going to be hanging out in the chat here, and definitely any kind of feedback that you guys have during the chat or during the stream would be sweet. So I'm definitely kind of just winging this, learning about this whole live streaming thing as I go. So cool. So yeah, just some things I wanted to talk about before we jumped into Chris's interview. So Abiotic does have a sweet new logo tee coming out. We've got it up on our indie merch store, and 75 of the profits are going to the Nomad fundraiser put together by our buddy Frank Finelli that is supporting all of the crew folks that are without work during these tough times with the coronavirus. And yeah, so if you've got the means, I know everybody's going through tough times now, but if you've got the means, pick up a shirt, or even just go to the fundraiser and donate directly to them, of course. But doing it this way, you get a cool new logo tee. So tomorrow, and after I kind of check out how this stream goes and kind of fix whatever bullshit is going with this one inevitably, I will be hanging out with Sanjay Kumar from Wormhole and Equipoise and all the other great bands he's in, and Cheney Crab. And they'll be coming and talking about, the tours that they were supposed to be on, and ways that you guys can support them through all of this bullshit. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and bring on our first official guest of the show. So everybody, please welcome Chris Kelly. What's happening, Chris?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks again for coming on. I kind of just made a really arbitrary post of hey, who would like to be a guest on the show. So I appreciate you willing to jump on this train with me, and even though I have no fucking idea where it's going. Real stoked to be able to bring you on and kind of talk about what you got going on. So let some folks know what you do, some of the projects that you're in, and how the virus is affecting you.
Sure. Yes. So as John mentioned before, I'm Chris. Hello. I play for a few different bands. Well, 2 now. Third one, I don't do it anymore. I get used to saying that. But so I played for a band called Alustrium, which that's probably the most up the alley thing for whatever demographic we might be talking to right now. It's kind of a tech prog death metal band. Sweet. Doing that for 10 years or something at this point. Definitely not a household name, but we seem to have a small little cult of followers going around somewhere.
Yeah, man. Understandably, you guys are sick.
Thanks, man. It's been pretty dormant for a while. So I've been touring a lot, and I have a wife and kid. So Alustrium is not a band that can tour and pay me, so we don't really tour.
I know how that is.
But yeah, so I do that when I can. Got a number of things in the works for that right now. I used to play for a band called Galactic Empire, which for anyone who is not familiar, I dressed up like Darth Vader and played Star Wars music for about 3 years.
Sounds tough, dude.
Yeah, tough physically.
Yeah.
But,
I did want to ask just on the and we can kind of maybe get into a little some galactic stuff, but
sure.
So did you play guitar obviously? So like, was there a cut? I don't know if maybe I've just never tried to play with gloves on, but like, can you fret and palm mute and shit with gloves on?
No, we don't actually play with gloves.
Okay. That's what I was like. How the fuck?
Yeah. So all right. The brief backstory. Grant McFarland, the drummer, did a drum video years ago. He wrote a part to the orchestral arrangement of the Imperial March. And after he did that, he had the idea of expanding on it and adding guitars in some form, and got me and Carson, our bass player, involved. I'm going to be using we and our a lot, even though I'm not in the band anymore. I'm just not used to referring to it any other way.
Yeah.
So you got me and Carson involved, and it just kind of like it was one of those projects where you have like funny or crazy ideas with your friends and you're like, oh yeah, we should totally do this, it'll be sick, and then that's kind of where the conversation ends and nothing ever happens, and you never talk about it again. That's kind of what I assumed it was going to be. And it did end up being that. I mean, we were like, okay, let's put this arrangement together. We did one song, and then we're like, okay, well, the new movie's coming out, so maybe we should do like Grant did for the drum video, do like a playthrough video of everyone playing their parts. But then we were like, there's like 1,000 guitar parts on this, and like that's probably gonna be dumb and annoying to do, but like we got to do something for it. And then it was like, what if we all wore helmets, wore the full costumes, hey so it just turned into this like full scale production. I mean, the place that Carson knew, it wasn't just like, oh, my friend has a green screen. Like, it was a full scale production house with like a 50-foot green screen and like a full film crew. And for whatever reason, they hooked it up, and we're just like, yeah, that sounds hilarious. Let's do it. And so we shot the first video, hired an effects artist in like Germany or something to build the backgrounds. Carson built a bunch of practical effects that we used in some of the shots.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like this huge production. Like, it was one of those things where like I was walking into the set the first day of shooting, and I was just like, I looked at Grant and I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, how, it shouldn't be happening. So, and then we put the first video out, and we put it out the day that episode 7 came out, and it blew up. It went viral that day. I think the first million hits came in like 8 or 9 hours. And it was just like tons of media coverage, news sites.
Yeah, man, that's how I heard about it, dude. Years ago now, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's the video that you're talking about. I saw that video, and I grew up huge fan of Star Wars, and me and my three other buddies, just huge fans of Star Wars. So as soon as I saw it, I sent it to them. I was like, because they're not necessarily metalheads, but I was like, dude, you guys need to listen to this. Like, this is fucking super sick. And then I just kind of kept following, and then I was like, wow, it's not just like these guys aren't just recording and tracking Star Wars music. They're like touring and like playing fucking crazy festivals on this stuff. So
yeah, and it wasn't supposed to be that. Like, it was just supposed to be, hey, we made this song, let's make a video for it, let's have fun. And then it got so much attention from that first video that we got an email from E, like the television channel. Wow. E, and they were like, hey, we're doing red carpet coverage during the Oscars, and you guys should come play during one of the segments. What and we were like, no, like we don't know how to play any of this. Like, we pieced all this together in Pro Tools. Like, we've never played this live. The costumes in the video are completely impossible to play in. Like, it's all, we're all faking it, and we hadn't figured out a live solution because we didn't think we'd have to. And they were just like, well, okay, fine. So you could say no, or you could figure it out. and we could pay you to fly out to LA for 3 days and just
Dude,
be on TV.
holy
And we were
shit.
like, fuck, all right. So we went, and
Yeah, that's, obviously.
we wore these like Sith robes, like Emperor robes, and so yeah, so our first live performance was on national television during the Oscars coverage, and
what did that feel like, dude? Like, what were you feeling? Like, you know, when they were telling you like we're going live.
It was weird, man. I mean, like it wasn't like, oh shit, like now we gotta play. It was just like the whole thing was just kind of a blur. Like it's like this isn't, you know, like this isn't actually happening right now. That'd be too silly. Like there's no way that somebody actually thought this was a good idea. But then so we were out there, and that's when we met up with the guy who has been booking GE since it started, who's the guy named Dave Shapiro.
I know Dave Shapiro. He's a man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, anybody who tours in like rock or metal knows who Dave Shapiro is.
Yep.
And he was helping manage Grant and Carson's recording studio for a while. And so we met up with him out there, like just to go to lunch and hang out. And he was like, yeah, like, let's make this a show. Like, let me book it and let me like do this. And we were like, I don't think that's a good idea, Dave. Like, we don't know what we're doing. Like, dude, fucking figure it out. Like, somebody just paid you to fly out here. So, yeah, so we just did it. And then, I mean, flew by the seat of our pants for 3 years. I mean, the band's still going on. They're, you know, they got their own stuff in the works. I left at the end of the last year just because I got a better gig. That sounds mean. I got a new gig that I could. I got a new gig that I wanted to be able to
I know what it is. You can't talk about it. Obviously, that was the move. So like,
here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing. I can't say the name of the bands. I'm not going to give any details about it. That being said, I'm on Wikipedia and shit. Like it's not a secret. I just can't say anything about it. It's weird. Okay. So if anyone feels like Googling my name, you'll figure it out. You'll find it somewhere.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So I got that project, and I just wanted to be able to jump when they said jump, you know. But yeah. So that was, I mean, that's like the as abridged as I can make it version of the GE backstory. It was just a joke that went too far and just spawned into a real touring career. And, you know, we ended up, I mean, within a few years, like the first tour we ever did was overseas in a bus. Like that doesn't happen. Within the first year, we were we were opening in arenas, and like we played with Ozzy and shit, like weird stuff that like shouldn't happen. Just came because, you know, Star Wars has a built-in audience. So like we didn't have to source fans, you know. It's just like the absolute worst case scenario was someone thinking like, oh, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but it's hilarious, so I'm going to stick around. So yeah, I mean, you know, so this just realized this is a really long-winded way of saying, no, we never played live with gloves.
Yeah, right.
We had to make non-infringing costumes because we had the music license figured out, but like Disney's got their IP locked down. So
yeah, obviously. So I know that's some giant hoops that you guys were jumping through, I'm sure. But
well, yeah, I mean, we couldn't jump through any hoops because nobody was returning any emails or phone calls or anything that we tried to make, and we tried to get as many contacts as it didn't work. So we didn't get a yes, we didn't get a no, we didn't get a fuck off. So we just figured err on the side of caution. So like my Vader mask kind of looked like a duck, you know, and we like changed the names of the characters a little bit and just like kept it as a parody thing. And the live costumes did not have gloves.
Nice. I'd say from my experience too, like, you know, if you're in a band and you know, if you're putting out merch that has a certain likeness to it or something, I'd, you know, kind of just going off of what you're saying as well, it's kind of a just do it until somebody tells you to stop kind of deal. So yeah, it's kind of the advice that I've given some folks when they've seen our like Dragon Ball Z themed t-shirts and stuff like that. So
yeah, the thing is until it's, I mean, we had our suspicions that like right towards the end of my time in the band, we started thinking like, do we want to just fucking, you know, we'd have to rework the costumes to make them like workable, but you know, for like physical functionality, but do we want to just use the real shit? and just see what happens, because like maybe they won't care, you know. And I don't know if that's something that they're doing right now. You know, maybe I just let some cat out of the bag and they'll yell at me later. But yeah, like we thought about it. I mean, the thing is, like, if unless you're making like just like boatloads of cash,
yeah,
chances are there's not going to be like you know, the people, like you said, you made a Dragon Ball Z shirt, like whoever makes Dragon Ball Z or owns Dragon Ball Z, like unless you guys are pulling in, like
we're not a blip on the fucking radar, dude, at all whatsoever.
Right, you know what I mean? Like unless it's like this is a lot of money that we're missing, they're probably not going to care.
Right.
But at the same time, there have been like Star Wars productions at like local playhouses near where we live that have gotten shut down with a cease and desist. Wow. So like that was the thing, like, we didn't know where the bar was, like, so
that makes sense.
Just tried to be safe. But yeah, so it was a fun few years. I look back on it fondly, and just on to the next thing now, you know?
Yeah, totally, man. So what are you promoting now? What are you doing now that the Rona is fucking everybody's shit up?
Well, my fucking hair turned purple. That's one thing. That's a testament to how bored things got for everybody after a couple of weeks inside. It was just, all right, you know, time to turn Dad's hair a weird color.
When you see this, I did a little ode to your purple hair. The banner at the bottom is in a purple font, so that's just.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Yeah. So I didn't just do this because I was like, yeah, this is what I want to look like. Who fucking cares? But yeah, I mean, I'm doing everything that I can. I mean, I run a production business. I obviously am a guitar player, so I'm offering all kinds of shit at discounted rates right now. You know, mixing, mastering, and that's anything from, you know, an album to a drum playthrough. Like, it doesn't really matter, you know, and the rates will all be, you know, per project and, you know, depend on the workload. Offering guitar lessons, you know, up until I deem that you're probably better than me, in which case I'll say,
come on, dude, you're fucking disgusting.
But I mean, thank you, but that doesn't, you know, even if I agreed with you, that doesn't mean that there aren't people that are better than me.
Fair.
But yeah, so, you know, shoot me some money and we'll hop on, and if it turns out that you can play shit that I can't play, I'll give you money back. But yeah, so I'm offering guitar lessons, offering production lessons. I'm still trying to figure that out. You know, they can do screen sharing, stuff like that, but there really isn't a service out there right now that allows you to like put the audio from your DAW straight into the video chat, because video clients only take a mono signal. So like, even if I could route my DAW audio somehow, I can only route it mono, and then that makes it weird, you know. So it's a little bit difficult functionally, but you know, made it work a couple of times. But doing that, you know, where I can. And yeah, other than that, I mean, you know, Alustrium hasn't put out a record in 5 years, so we don't have, you know, we haven't done any shows in like 2, so we don't have any T-shirts or anything. But like the last album that we put out, which got a decent response in the little niche that we exist in, you know, that still exists. That's on our Bandcamp. You know, so if anybody's interested in the tech death stuff, head over there if you haven't gotten the record already.
If they're here, I hope they are. So I mean, you know, we're definitely in that same little niche. So yeah, definitely after you get off of the stream, throw your links into the chat. Definitely.
Cool.
And yeah, definitely. If you guys are listening, check out Alustrium. You know, we may see some new stuff from you guys at some point.
Yeah, we're working on a bunch of stuff. We have a how do I put this? I don't want to give too much away, but like there's a chunk of stuff that's ready to go and has a plan, and then there's another new stuff that's going to be worked out. So yes, there's a lot in the works for that right now. I just launched my own Facebook page, which is probably
it's official. It's official, right? Or not yet?
Now it's official. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They finally let me change the fucking name. Dude, that was a nightmare. I don't know why they did that. Like, I made the page and they just decided to call it Unofficial Chris Kelly. I'm like, that's the worst fucking name you could pick. So yes, that was a few days of fighting with robots to try to get somebody. I think the last message that I sent them was offering to send a blowjob robot to Mark Zuckerberg's doorstep, and that's when I actually got a person to be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Okay. So for anybody trying to, make their page official, just, robot blowjobs is the
trying
move.
to do a Facebook name change at all, like an official page for a band or something like that, and you want to keep the followers but change the name or something, like they're going to give you a hard time. So you got to like tell them that you're like planning on spending ad dollars, and they'll usually require a press release, which that's part of the reason why it was such a nightmare, because it's like there's no publications picking up that like this random guitar player just made a Facebook page.
Yeah, what the
you
fuck?
know like, so yeah, so like I had to send links to like other press that I have done to prove that like I do play guitar for a living. Like
That's fucking
yeah,
real strange.
So it was annoying. So I have that. The name of it is guitarist Chris Kelly. Feel free to go over and follow that. There's not a whole lot on there right now, aside from like some little solo clips and stuff that I put up.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of working on a solo record that I'm going to be putting out.
Okay.
That being said, you probably won't see much of what goes on anyway, because Facebook fucking throttles the posts to the point where it's like almost pointless to post anything anymore.
Yeah, dude, it's so shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially like for us coming back after a hiatus and trying to get reestablished on the socials, and it was not that it was easy before, but at least like everybody who followed your page was able to see the shit that you post, and it's
yep, not anymore.
Nope. All right, Chris, well, thanks so much for fucking coming on and hanging out, and anything else, any parting words for the folks watching before we bring on our next guest?
Fucking stay at home, man. That's all. That's it. If the longer I feel like it's beating a dead horse, but the longer that people continue to think this is a joke, the longer we're gonna have to be fucking staying inside, and we all want to go outside again. So just fucking chill, do what you're supposed to do, stay at home.
Smart man. All right, Chris, thanks again so much for coming to hang. And again, everybody listen to Chris's music, follow his pages. And if you want to learn some sick shred or some sick production work, hit him up.
Yay. Bye.
All right, take it easy, man.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, so now I'm going to be bringing on my friend, Mozzarella Sticks, Alex Kendrick, who
mozzarella.
Coming on here in a second.
Do you see the mozzarella?
I see the mozzarella. Give me a sec here.
You're looking good.
All right, I think we got you. What's happening, dude?
Not too much, man. Just hunkered down in the old dirty South with these mozzarella sticks,
Dude, it's so good to see you. I haven't. We used to like video chat all the time, and we've obviously just like I've been crazy busy. You've been out like all over the fucking world and stuff. So awesome to be able to like just really like catch up and talk some shit. It's been a minute.
Yeah, agreed, man. It went from day-to-day hangs in Miami forever ago to we'll be lucky if we see each other a few times a year.
Dude, you used to live at the Walmart across the street from my house. In our van.
Yeah, I sure did for a month.
Crazy times. Well, if you guys don't know who this is my buddy Alex Kendrick. Again, he does front of house mixing for basically all of your favorite touring bands in our kind of metal genre. He's probably going to say a bunch more that I'm not going to remember, but he does sound for Rings of Saturn, Black Crown Initiate. He did sound for us, for Abiotic for a couple of years. Cryptopsy, Necrogoblicon, Traders. Like I said, I'm sure there's a ton more I'm missing, Alex.
So et cetera, yeah.
Et cetera. So if you do know who he is, funny story on how he kind of got his start doing the damn thing. Abiotic actually played a festival out was it in Columbus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a festival in Columbus, Georgia. You were like 18 and a day old or something.
I think I was just turning 18. I think I was 17 turning 18.
17 turning 18. You probably told us you were 18.
Yeah, something like that.
And he was running house sound at this festival. We played a set. He was doing sound at our stage. There was multiple stages at this thing, and ended up, offering a place to crash after the show. And end of that whole night, or I think it was like the next morning. We just asked him. We were getting ready to jump on a 2.5 week run with the Faceless and Within the Ruins and Rings of Saturn, actually. And we just asked him if he wanted to just come and do sound for us after knowing him for about 17 hours. So, and he thought about it for about 5 whole minutes, packed up a bag, and jumped in a fucking van with us. And the rest is kind of history. So,
then there's that infamous first night,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, but dude, way stoked to see where things have gotten for you.
I'm excited to be here. I'm super stoked to be on the podcast too. I know the mozzarella sticks are hot and ready. So
yeah, they are. So way stoked to have you on. So kind of just wanted to. I know you had kind of a crazy story experience, with this whole thing with the virus since you were out in Europe. I also do know that you have your own show, coming up pretty quickly, that you guys are doing your first episode on Friday, where you and some of the bands in that whole debacle are going to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it. So, I don't want you to go into too many details on it, but if you could tell us a little bit about what that shit was like, just being at a venue in Europe and then just hearing that they're going to be closing the borders tomorrow or whatever it was.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. So we were in Berlin when we got the initial call for the old Trump doing the announcement stuff.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we started immediately kind of panicking. I wasn't actually on the bus. I was at a friend's Airbnb. Yeah. Just kind of getting some nice time away from the bus and the whole tour madness,
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, our tour manager calls me. We had to cancel the last 3 shows. We got last-minute flights back to the United States. The guys from Brand of Sacrifice back to Canada. We didn't really know what we were getting into, with the whole possibility of closing the borders. We didn't really know what to expect. We just heard that there was a certain time on a Friday, if I recall right, by midnight that we had to be back by.
So it was Friday, and when did you guys find out if you had to be back on Friday? How long before that was it?
When we got to the airport, it was a Wednesday when we found out the information. We had to be back by Friday at midnight.
Wow.
Was what was announced originally. Apparently, we would have been okay to stay. But it's like a double-sided argument that I've been seeing, because they said that if you're a United States citizen, they would have let you back. But as European countries said, they could have detained you. So
yeah, that was kind of weird. That shit wasn't for sure. I think they figured that out way later. So it was
right.
Who knows if you would have been. Stone. Right.
So, we didn't really have much wiggle room to really risk, having 24 dudes stuck, in Europe. At some sort of, detainment, whatever have you, could have happened.
Yeah, was getting through the airport, was it tough?
It was definitely some extra steps. I'm pretty seasoned when it comes to airports, so it's usually a pretty easy one TSA stop, boom, you go to your gate. But this was, if I recall right, a 4 or 5 step process. Getting through the international one. You had to go up, do normal TSA. They took you to an extended TSA after that. Took you to a questionnaire, kind of kiosk setup.
Yeah.
Immigration checkpoint, and then another checkpoint where they swabbed you down and blah 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 and tested for. Yeah, it was pretty intense. I didn't see anyone checking for fevers. I saw a lot of that on the internet, where people posting where they'll check you for fevers. I didn't see any of that.
Huh.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic, and we already had to cancel one show of the tour earlier in Italy due to the whole epidemic or pandemic, really, at this point. But Um, and then in Austria, we arrived, and the promoter walked out and said, "Hey, we may have to cancel the show because we were in Vienna, Austria. They put up a thing that said, nothing with more than 100 people, but it actually didn't go into effect until the day after our show."
Oh wow.
So we played, one of the last shows in Vienna for a little while, so the crowd was pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, yeah, I bet that's kind of cool that you guys were able to play the last show in a city and
Yeah,
fucking
it's the last concert they're going to see for a little while, that's for sure. So it's
yeah,
just kind
man.
of weird, being in an environment like that, and a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, man, I can imagine. I mean, we were out there, 4 years ago now, and I just, thinking about it. When I first heard about it, I was just trying to put myself, I were out there, had some other friends who were out there, and fortunately, right, like, I'll say, fortunately, you were in a situation that you guys could afford to just kind of jump on a flight and come home and do the whole thing. I know I can speak for the entirety of Abiotic that if that happened to us out there, we would have been fucked.
Yeah,
I'd be
it was
learning
definitely,
German right now, like just trying
yeah.
to.
Oh, I already came to the conclusion. I was like, dang, do I have to get like a German wife? Do I just live in Germany now? Do I get married and have kids in Germany? I,
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, oh, I guess
do I
this
do
is
I
where I live
become a
now.
bus driver? Maybe I'll drive the bus now.
um,
I
dude,
didn't really know. There's a lot of uncertainty with it all, and we were hearing about it all even right before the tour started, and then we get
yeah,
over there, we hear a little more every day about it, and then finally it just blows up, and you're just panicking for 36 hours.
yeah. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm glad you and the boys were able to get home, safe and sound. And so how's quarantine been treating you? Have you any tips and tricks for anybody out there who's in quarantine and just trying to get through this shit?
Yeah, certainly. One that I've been using may sound like a surprise to most if listening. Don't drink. It's so boring. Like just sitting around, just being drunk. I know a lot of people do that, but I mean, by all means, drink if you want. Um, I don't know. I would say go to the gym, but that's also bad because most of those are closed. Just try and, I
Yep.
don't know. I've been doing a lot of video games, which isn't really the most physically healthy, but I've been doing that. I've got a park behind my house. It's about a mile and a half. Do a couple laps on that.
Nice.
Try and stay somewhat active.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I've been
I'm going
trying
to
to.
try and do this. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I've been trying to do the exercise at home thing too, and trying to just go outside, but also not be near people, and yeah, it's tough, man. But we were talking a little bit about it before. It's great to hear that you're kind of tackling a little bit of sobriety, at least on the alcohol side,
Yeah, totally,
while you're at
totally.
home, man.
It's long overdue. A nice mental cleanse.
Yeah, you take a little break. I mean, nothing too crazy, but um,
Yeah,
little
just got to
little
make sure you can twist those knobs.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's sometimes they get a little heavy, right? So you gotta make sure you're getting some gains in there so you can twist those babies.
Certainly, certainly, and yeah, it's crazy how even looking at the venue that I work at occasionally in LA, 1720, like they're already pushing shows, months from now. It's kind of scary how long all this may go on.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
I mean, it's even it's getting into our schedule too. Where I was talking a little bit about it yesterday, but we were luckily, fortunately, kind of sitting this year out, or thinking more toward the end of the year to kind of when we get the record out and to get back out again. So we're getting ready to track in a month and just doing the whole getting a record together thing. So we were fortunate in that sense, but even that, who knows? You know what I mean? Might get pushed because
yeah,
who knows how
totally.
long this shit's gonna take.
A lot of summer work that I had, and it's touching a lot of the guys. I work with too, blah blah blah, but we're having to push stuff,
Ugh.
far back, so it's not looking too good on that side.
Yeah, man, and that's and you can speak a little bit to it as well, but for people that are not necessarily in the know, when you're somebody who does what you do full time, like this is your livelihood, your job,
Yeah, certainly. Especially like, with even just like the venue closing, in LA, like I would go to Los Angeles a lot to work in between tours, and now there's just no opportunity for my craft. So I'm having to kind of outsource and see, other sides of the spectrum, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the show thing out, and I think it should go all right on Friday. Just with have someone from every band on the tour and just have them describe their experiences and how it's affected their band and them personally. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, I'm definitely going to be tuning in the Alex Kendrick show. So he'll be streaming live on Twitch and on Facebook, similar to what we're doing right now.
Oh yeah.
And he'll have his buddies in Rings of Saturn, so Ian and Lucas. Tyler from Traders.
I'll have Gabe and Dan from Enterprise Earth. Yep. We have Leo and Kyle from Brand of Sacrifice. We've got kind of like a little flyer thing going on there.
Nice.
Yeah. So it should be a fun time, and if that goes well, I'd like to make it, maybe a weekly episodic thing, or maybe even just like a daily little morning show cast thing, or pastime, and something kind of like this. It's nice to bring people together and chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to jump on that, man. So let's definitely do some catching up on your show as well. So I would say I'm gonna I don't think you can see this right now, but I'm putting up, I tried to find the oldest picture of us together that I could find. And it's actually just us sitting at the news desk at Cron 4 in San Francisco.
Oh, with Brian.
Yeah. So that was our, rest in peace, Brian Shields. That was the last day that we saw Brian. And that was a super fun day.
I miss that guy.
Yeah, I miss him so much.
Yeah, very much.
And
that was one of the coolest little tours of a city that I've ever done. He knew everywhere in San Francisco.
He knew everywhere. Drove us around, and we took a dab or 27 or however many.
Right. That was the first time I ever took a dab was with him. We were on the Dying Fetus tour in 2013.
Yeah, first time I ever.
That
took
was my first. It was good. Gosh, woof.
Yeah, that was the first time I was gonna smoke weed, and someone pulled a torch out, and I was just like, I don't know if I do those kinds of drugs.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, man, it's just it's like real weed, like the weed.
It's super strong weed.
I was like, all right, let's do this. And Andres was there, and he was our if you guys know, our drummer at the time. And just hilarity ensued with him trying his first dab and just getting absolutely annihilated.
Oh yeah.
So, dude, it's fucking crazy, and I'm just super grateful to be in the industry that I work in outside of doing music stuff. So I'm a general manager of a dispensary out here, actually pretty close to the Worcester Palladium, and we're considered essential. So I'm still.
That's awesome.
Going to
That's
work.
awesome.
And, helping patients.
It's awesome to see it's awesome to see the pod industry still thriving through this and just thriving in general.
Yeah, and states really taking into account that it's medicine, it is helping people, it's not just as much as it was and is for us still fucking get faded.
Totally. It's still like a medicine. A lot of people are still pretty reliant on CBD even.
Yeah, totally. Cool, man. So can you think of what's one of our older tour shenanigans that you can think of?
Oh goodness. Man. Okay, I'm gonna have to dive deep for this one.
Dive deep.
I'm trying.
There's a lot of blunts in between right now.
Yeah,
time.
Totally. One of the only things I'm thinking of is just Matt waking up and just being like, Taco Bell, go right now.
Oh, all the fucking.
Taco Bell's sick. I don't know. The only thing I could think of when I think of Abiotic touring is just us loading in, doing our shit, and then Alex doing his dreads.
And our van breaking down all the time.
Oh yeah.
What
when
about
we were stuck in what was it, Phoenix for 3 days?
Yeah. That was when the fuel pump went out on the highway.
Oh yeah, and we were just waiting for 2 hours with half a gallon of water, and it was 100 outside.
and no fucking air conditioning. Oh look, I've been shot and haven't been looking at the chat on Facebook Live, but Ray's actually here. He says, "How about the first time he came along with the duffel bag and nothing else?" So yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, yeah. I stood by that for a while. A couple years, I only did duffel bags. Now I have like a trunk. A huge thing.
Since there's space in the fucking bus, dude.
Yeah.
No, but that's really how we ended up kind of doing it. We're like, I think we kind of went the opposite. We used to take like luggage, and then every tour you're just like, how do I bring less shit? Like, how do I?
Yeah. There was a while for rings where I would like double my duffel bag as my pillow.
Oh yeah.
In the van.
You gotta be able to be innovative on this shit to make it work. Word, man. Well, maybe we won't be fucking burnouts and remember when I come on your show some funnier stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Oh wait, no. So you remember when we were in Denver with Boris the Blade, and our drummer at the time, Brent, was trying to protect his drum set because we were playing at a church with no stage.
Oh my gosh.
His drum set was up against a wall, and he was standing in front of it, and there was some dudes moshing, and he was kind of like, they were running into him, he was pushing them off, and they were basically intentionally running into him at this point. So he grabbed one of the dudes and put him in a headlock, and then just like insanity ensued. And you and I had just stepped out to smoke while all this happened.
Yeah. I'm pretty glad that we didn't see that one.
Yeah, but the story's fantastic because we kind of come back in, and there was like video of it too, because Boris the Blade's camera guy was they quit playing, didn't they? Dude, so in the video you see it. So like their vocalist and their guitar player, because a giant fight started to happen. We were out with Ultra Beast, and it was Reaping, wasn't it?
I think.
Yeah. And so mid set they like dropped instruments to like get into this brawl, because people were jumping on top of our drummer, and then like Travis had like gotten in and like put his hand on a guy and turned him around, and the guy punched him square in the forehead. And
yeah. What a weird place to hit someone.
and in a church. It was like just a weird night. But you and I kind of just like rolled in after, just like, what's going on? And
yeah, what happened here? I'm kind of faded.
Yeah. All right, cool,
man. There's always the right before the I won't say any band names, but the old house party in Chicago from the first tour.
Oh man, that's a story.
Yeah, like waking up in a bush and then the beer bong with like 8 tubes coming out of it.
Yeah, I had to pull your ass out of a bush. Somebody in some band, I won't say who, shit their pants.
Somebody went through a wall.
Yeah.
Somebody's MacBook got a liter of Jameson poured onto it for some reason.
That was a debacle.
But on the bright side, it looks like the beans are done.
All right, awesome, dude. Well, I will let you go. Thanks for coming and hanging. If you guys, I'm just gonna throw up the flyer for your show again really quick. If you guys are hanging around the internet on Friday, what else are you doing? Go to Alex's Twitch or his Facebook page and jump in on the Alex Kendrick show, where they're gonna have a bunch of dudes on there who are much funnier than we are together. And it's gonna be a good time. So I'm gonna be checking that out. Anything else you got going on, or anything else coming up? Otherwise, man.
I fancy that's about it. I maybe I kind of want to make it a weekly, maybe daily, even quick podcast thing. But I'll let you know, and you'll be on there soon. We'll continue on buckles, and there will be more beans.
Tight, man. Well, again, I appreciate you for coming on. I'll talk to you soon. I love and miss the shit out of you, and hope that we'll be able to hang soon and actually in person, and I can just give you a fucking hug.
Hell yeah, man. Can't wait to see you. Much love, dude. Awesome talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Ciao.
Peace. All right, guys. So I'm going to bring on our final guest here. Eloy Montes, who currently plays in the band Flub. If you've been sticking around this long, thanks again for hanging out. This episode was a little bit ambitious, mainly because Chris was supposed to be on the show yesterday, and I didn't realize Facebook couldn't bring people on to the stream anymore. And then I spent last night and this morning kind of figuring out how to do this. So if you're, again, just tuning in, thanks for bearing with me. If there's been any technical difficulties, if there's been a little bit of lag or any kind of weird video shit. But Eli, what's going on, man? How the fuck are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Hanging in there, man. You know, it's just fucking crazy. I mean, I'm working full time still, but just like heading straight to work, straight home, and just trying like to find shit to do while I'm stuck here, you know.
Right.
What about you, man? I seen you guys put out a new music video. You guys supposed to be on tour right now, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to be going on tour, I believe, in about a week, and that ended up not working out because the places we were going to be hitting were some of the very first outbreaks in America, which were the Pacific Northwest.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so we're hitting every one of these cities that's having an outbreak right now. And I didn't expect it. No, I expected it to get this bad, but I guess I just didn't expect it to happen so quickly because it felt really far removed initially when it was happening in China. But it's easy to forget that China is a global trading hub.
Yeah.
It's a global electronic hub, especially in Wuhan, where the outbreak originated. So yeah, it ended up spreading a lot quicker. We ended up shutting down. Luckily in California, we are in a place where we ended up shutting down everything fairly early compared to a lot of states. Like for instance, I hear that out in Florida, they're just barely issuing a stay-at-home order today. Am I right?
It's insane, man. Yeah, so I'm in Massachusetts now, but you know, all my family is still in Florida, and I, you know, obviously keeping up with it. And I just saw that today that, you know, DeSantis was just trying everything he could to not do a stay-at-home order for whatever reason. And
money.
Yeah, and then finally fucking just broke. So, you know, I do have somebody in my wife's family who, you know, has been, you know, confirmed to be positive for the coronavirus. So,
that's
you know,
unfortunate.
Yeah, man, it hits home, you know what I mean? And it's got to be taken seriously, like Chris said, just like stay the fuck home. Like it's, you know, everybody talks about wash your hands, but everybody talks about like, you know, I'm an introvert and I don't do anything and stay at home, and like, well, now actually do the shit, man. Now, but you know, Florida is it's like a different planet.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have teaching a lot of guitar, and it's what's helping me stay afloat right now.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask you now. You know, what services you were offering, since I know, again, you know, your band Flub was impacted. Hopefully you guys are selling some merch too. Did you guys? Are you guys sitting on a merch order from that tour? There you go. Little self promo there. Nice. I need to get me one of those, man.
Artisan-aire on the other side.
Yeah, that's right. So I forgot to mention that as well. So we just signed with Artisan-aire. Obviously Flub is an Artisan-aire band as well. So just way stoked to be in good company, man. You guys put out a sick record.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I like your stuff as well.
Oh, thank you, man. But yeah, so you're teaching guitar. How can folks contact you, or where should they reach out to you for some lessons?
I think either via email, which I'll drop in the chat, or actually Instagram and Facebook work a lot better now that I think about it, because my email's been flooded lately.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the ways to reach me, and basically I'll teach people like the art of practicing more so than what to practice. Well, no, that's not true. I teach you how to practice.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's huge, right? Because like, you know, you could have all the exercises in the world, you could have like, you know, all the scales and modes and everything like that, but if you don't do it in an efficient way, if you don't maximize the amount of you know, practice and ways that you're trying to learn these different things, then you could easily just be overwhelmed, and it'll take you a lot longer to progress, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. And that's what I try to get into people, because a lot of people are actually like really good players. They have a lot of potential to go further than they are. I even have some students that are like by all means like better than me, but I take them to the next level almost like a coach.
Yeah.
And like um you can do this better, or you can do that better, or I notice that you're doing this in a certain way, that could be more efficient. And it's kind of like how when you're a football coach, you have these old fat guys that are not going to be running fucking as fast or able to tackle as hard, but they know the plays.
Right, right.
And that's kind of how I am as well.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, I haven't really heard it put that way from in comparison to teaching. Yeah, I mean, I personally love doing it as well. I haven't in a while, and I personally just feel right now I'm definitely taking a step back from it to let the guys, that are as good at it as you are, and have that as kind of their main source of income doing it, to be doing it. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you guys are looking to learn some shred, if you guys haven't heard Flub, Eloy played a little bit with Veil of Nath as well. His work is incredible. Follow him on his socials because he's always putting out some sweet content and shit like that. But yeah, where can people listen to the new Flub and check out that new music video you guys dropped?
Right. So our latest music video was premiered by Metal Injection yesterday, and it's available through them. Uh, let's see. You could also check out our new album through Bandcamp, or it's available as well on YouTube. We put out a few music videos for it. I believe we have one for Rise from Your Grave. We have one for Umbra Mortis, which is the one we just dropped, and we have another one for Wild Smoke, which is I believe the first one we dropped.
Tight.
So you can find it on those platforms. I can also link in the comments if you'd like.
Yeah. Please do. Definitely drop all your links in the comments so anybody watching can go check your stuff out. So what else are you doing aside from teaching that's kind of helping you get through the quarantine, man?
Well, I've been getting my fucking swole on.
There you go.
Fucking trying to eat healthier, trying to eat more protein, because I realize I don't eat enough. Fucking playing video games.
What are you playing?
Fucking, I play like mostly like Overwatch and Minecraft and stuff, like just like basic games. But I got the new Animal Crossing.
Nice.
I played it for like 15 minutes. I just have not had the time to really dedicate into those type of games because.
Yeah.
I feel like when I get into games like Skyrim or Animal Crossing or things like that, or just like RPGs, things of that nature, I have to fucking sit down and play them for like hours and hours and hours and hours.
It's a lot of fucking time, man. Yeah, you got to like build a life in that game. So it's not just like it's not. I say it all the time. Like I'm a pretty terrible gamer. I love video games, but I just need instant gratification. Like I need like,
same.
So I just started getting into The Witcher 3.
Oh, I fucking love that game.
Super fun. So there's I hadn't played any of the other ones because again I'm a shitty gamer, but that one I've been getting into, and yeah, it's really fun. A little bit of a learning curve with some of the fighting dynamics and things like that, but
right.
Yeah, definitely a fun one, and I've been trying to just get my game on a little bit now since I've got an excuse not to do anything else.
Right. This little thing too has been helping me a lot. This little Scarlet solo, just tracking ideas, just coming up with little riffs here and there, and that's been helping a shit ton. Playing a lot of this guy.
Nice. Here. Oh, there you go. You want to talk a little bit about your endorsers there?
Okay, so I will talk about this guy right here. Swiss Picks, they're my favorite.
Fuck yeah.
I fucking love Pete. Great dude. I love his company and everything, and he believed in me before everybody else did, really.
Nice,
also, like, the product is awesome. It's like little picks shaped like cheese. Like, dude, even if they're like, say they're exactly like Dunlops, which they aren't, they have some differences.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that they're shaped like cheese, man. That should sell you on it.
I mean, I'm putting mine up to the camera right now too. I've got the 1.10s the orange one, and yeah, I've been jamming on these for a little bit now. They're fucking sweet. I like them a lot actually.
What's your favorite material?
I was fucking around with the Dunlop Flow picks. So like
Hmm.
that kind of material, like the prime tone or whatever that kind of shit is called.
Right.
But I've definitely been digging the attack that I can get with the Swiss picks as well. And they are a little bit lighter too. I've noticed, obviously, because they got fucking holes in them. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I've been kind of going back and forth between the 1.10s and these are the .80s. Um,
Oh,
so would definitely suggest it if you're a guitar player looking for a new pick. Totally check out the Swiss picks.
I
Um,
agree.
and you're rocking the headless, or you've got a few different kinds of guitars, huh?
Yeah, I have so many right now. My main bitch is this one. It's this Kiesel headless.
That shit's beautiful, man.
Thank you. I actually really like the back of it.
Ooh,
I think it's like the best looking part of it.
damn.
Um, it's got this nice bird's eye maple. I don't know if my shitty ass webcam can pick that up,
No,
but
I can see it. It's gorgeous, dude.
yeah. And I'm also rocking this. My other main one when I want to play six is this RG 550. It's like one of the old school Holy Grail Paul Gilbert shred guitars
Fuck yeah.
from the 90s. Or
Nice.
from, but I'm not actually sure which exact model it is because I've been trying to find information on it and it's kind of vague. But I know that it's an RG 550 from the mid 90s.
Nice.
Pretty much just running that either through the Focusrite or through this little PV Viper, which is kind of an underrated practice amp, I think.
Dope. I hadn't even heard of the PV Viper. That's awesome. What do you use in a track? Are you using like any VSTs or anything? Or
To track, I run through just Bias FX2.
sweet.
Sounds pretty good. It's it could be better. I wish I had my Axe effects on me,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is. We're kind of stuck in place.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we are.
I'm just really looking forward to the days when we can slowly start trickling back out and doing things semi-normally because I'm thinking that this is like a big change for humanity in general because I don't think things are going to go right back to how they used to be. I think that this has left a lot of people kind of like psychologically more aware of fomites and how viruses can transmit on surfaces or through contact or through the air. So I do think that a lot of people are going to be more um, like cautious of things like public transportation, restaurants, movie theaters, just public places in general.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
I
kind of
100% agree there, man. Like I was thinking, I was just thinking the same thing. A couple of days ago, where, I was reading somewhere that prior to this, like 30 some odd percent, don't fucking quote me or whatever, but like 30 some odd percent of people just like didn't wash their fucking hands. Just like
Jesus fuck.
the grossest fucking thing ever. But like, it'll be interesting to see, once the tide kind of turns, how this is going to affect what our new normal is, right? Because that's what it really is going to be. I certainly don't think it's going to go back to kind of the normal that we were at before all this.
I don't either, man. It's especially kind of alarming because I think we're at a point in in our society that politically, I believe that there was a study that was done that says that we're at the most divided we've been since the Civil War.
Wow.
So when we're so politically split down the middle and we have such differing ideologies between each other, you could already see those seeds kind of sowing. So I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm just
No.
kind of like wondering where is this going to lead, and has the virus divided us more or brought us together? Because right before the virus happened, there was the whole "Okay Boomer" meme, and it was kind of like a generational war between the older parts of our society and the youth,
Right.
and even middle-aged people were kind of lumped into that. Um, and I noticed that there's been a lot less of that since um, since the outbreak happened, since the pandemic. because it's easy to say okay boomer and then try to discredit like anything that our that our elders are doing because they have different generational values.
Right.
But then once the pandemic happened and once people started realizing, oh shit, this is a part of society that we actually did value, I think I'm starting to see a lot less of those generational wars. What I am seeing is a lot more carelessness on both extremes, though, because if you see people going out, it's usually like Zoomers, Gen Z, or like older people. Those are the two crowds that I see going out more carelessly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's exactly what I've been seeing too, and you make a great point. That it's I think to an extent it's probably a little bit of both, right? Like it probably has brought a lot of us together. I know a lot of the folks in what we do, right? Play music in the music industry. It's definitely brought us together. I've seen just the Nomad fundraiser that I was talking about before, where my buddy Frank put together to take donations for people who lost their job in the industry, and
right.
everybody really just kind of coming together and really being supportive of each other, and because it's all we've really got in the end, aside from all the bullshit, and we'll have some differences, we'll disagree on stuff, but now more than ever, for sure, we've got to really look out for one another. We've got to just spread some positive messages of love and really just coming together, but also sometimes you got to give the fucking tough love, right? Like sometimes you got to be like, hey, stay the fuck inside. I don't care what you think is happening. I don't care what like conspiracy YouTube video you watched yesterday. Like this shit is serious, and if you fucking care about your abuelita and you care about like your homies in bands, and you want people to have livelihoods, like just follow fucking directions, man.
Yeah, you just got to stay inside for a bit, and it becomes hard when you add the economic aspect to it. And there are a large number of people that do not believe that. First of all, there's people that don't believe that it's happening. There's people that believe that it's happening, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
And there's people that just don't give a fuck,
Right.
even if it is happening and they see that it's a big deal. So those are the three that you have to contend with. But luckily, I think that it's a slightly smaller minority of people that are doing that,
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll speak for myself. I'm just like another musician. I try and stay as informed as I can, but don't take me as a as a whatever, someone who is going to give you answers on how to live your life, but just be mindful, right? Just be mindful of yourself, your families, other people, and I think we'll get out on the other side of this, and it'll really show some people's true colors. It'll really during these trying times of adversity, tends to show who people really are. So with that, man, is there anything you wanted to talk about, promote before we kind of wrap for tonight?
Yeah, other than like checking out all the aforementioned stuff, I haven't really announced it yet, but I wrote an album for this band I play with called Princess Kitten.
Sick.
And it's funny that we had Galactic Empire's guitarist on earlier because it was the same kind of concept where we dress up in animal costumes.
Sick. Okay.
And we go on stage and play like that. So that's kind of I wanted to bring that up because it ties in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we'll be announcing that soon, and it's obviously the situation going on right now has put a damper on things in terms of getting into a studio and recording everything.
Totally.
But that's going on. I have another secret project with a couple of other good friends that I've played with before. It's going to be pretty sick when I can finally get all of that stuff re-recorded, because I got a better setup and I haven't been able to use it. And on top of that, I'm also helping write some music for some previous projects that I can't disclose. I'm sure everybody will assume what it is. Yeah, and that's about it, I believe. Well, other than a couple other mystery things.
Yeah, well, sick, man. I mean, sounds like you're definitely keeping busy, so I'm happy to hear that. Again, congrats on dropping that new Flub music video. People definitely go check out the new Flub music video. If you haven't, over on Metal Injection, check out the new album on Bandcamp, or stream it on YouTube. Eloy, thanks again so much for coming on. I know, like I said before, had 2 other guests on. My goal is not to kind of get too ambitious with these episodes so I can get really in depth with everybody that I talk to, but so glad that I was able to get you on, kind of get your perspective. Again, you sound very knowledgeable on the topic. Sounds like you've been doing some research in regards to the virus. Hey, we got to try and stay informed. But again, thanks for coming on, and hope to have you on again, man. I would love to.
Yeah, man. It was great.
All right, sweet. Well, you take care, man.
You too, man. Take care.
All right. Well, thanks a ton if you were hanging out on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitch. I just started a Twitch, if that's your thing. So twitch.tv/abioticjohn. I was live over on our YouTube page as well. So that's the Abiotic YouTube page. That's youtube.com/user/abiotic video is that one. And then I've been going live on my own personal Facebook page. Again, thanks for everybody like bearing with me as I figure out this whole live streaming thing, and if I'm going to turn this into its own separate kind of podcast style thing, or if I'm just going to keep going live. Goal for this for sure is to catch up with some friends of mine, and maybe some people that I haven't talked to before in the music industry, get their stories out to you in regards to what they're going through during the coronavirus. Services they're offering, merch they might be selling. So, like I mentioned before, tomorrow I'm going to be bringing on Sanjay from Wormhole and Cheney from Entheos, 2 amazing people. Really look forward to talking with them. Cheney and Naveen, if you know them, they've got their own podcast going on. So look forward to talking a little bit about that. And yeah, that's everything for today. So if you're around tomorrow, you want to catch the interviews with Sanjay and Cheney, we'll be here the same places I was streaming tonight tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you all at the streams. Thanks, everybody.